This is about the people who were slaughtered that day, and they are making a mess of it, and the only people who are hurting and who need to be surrounded is the victims. This is not about him.
A really emotional day in the El Paso County Courthouse today as the criminal case against the Walmart gunman is once again mired in delays. This was the first time in 5 years that Patrick Crusius was in a state courtroom. He walked in, you see him there, wearing a bulletproof vest and an orange and white jumpsuit. But instead of the case moving forward, the defense team is asking for 2 years to sort through evidence in a case that they say is permeated in politics right now. So first off, want to say hello. Thanks for joining us. I'm Liz DeWicki. We do have team coverage of today's proceedings here. Ariana Parra spoke to the victim's relative who says he is outraged by how long it has taken for justice to be served. But we do want to begin with my co-anchor, Robert Olguin, who is at today's court proceedings and updates us now on where things stand at this point. Robert?
Yeah, Liz, so today was supposed to be a scheduling conference. We were supposed to get a better idea today of how this long delayed case is finally moving its way through the court, but that's not what happened. Instead, most of the morning, the defense team was leveling serious accusations of misconduct against the district attorney. In fact, they say that the misconduct is so severe that the case should be dismissed, or at least the death penalty should be taken off the table. Patrick Crusius sat stone-faced in a downtown courtroom this morning, while the emotion was coming from his defense attorney.
We have found lots of information that is lacking and missing that the state had not provided.
Among other things, defense attorney Joe Spencer says that the DA's office has intentionally withheld evidence that could help his client. Spencer also says the DA's office made jailhouse recordings of phone calls between Crusius and his attorneys.
That's a violation of the attorney-client relationship. They're asking for logs of our visitation. They specifically made that request. They have to stop doing that. They cannot do that here.
Spencer acknowledged that much of the alleged misconduct happened under the previous DA, Yvonne Rosales, who was forced to resign amid allegations of incompetence and mismanagement. But Spencer argues that the fallout continues.
It's the same office that Mr. Hicks holds. You can't just say, well, that was under Mr. Esparza's administration. This happened under the Rosales administration. Therefore, I get a mulligan. They don't get a mulligan in death penalty cases, Judge. They're responsible for the actions of what the DA's office did.
Spencer was allowed to level the accusations, even though today's hearing was originally intended to create a timeline for the state's capital murder case against Crusius. Eventually, Judge Sam Medrano decided to postpone the scheduling hearing and instead instructed the DA's office to return to his courtroom next month to respond to the allegations.
They've alleged a bunch of things that I don't think exist.
After the hearing was adjourned, DA Bill Hicks said the allegations were little more than delay tactics.
No, listen, their accusations are not based in the law. We're fine. I'm very comfortable. We've already looked at their motions. We're very comfortable that we're in very good, solid position based on the law.
Hicks says there were only 4 jailhouse phone call recordings, and he says they've been destroyed.
We'll look for them. If they have information they believe they're out there, we'll look for them.
But Spencer says the case against Crusius is so flawed that the state has no choice but to take the death penalty off the table.
We know that Patrick Crusius is serving 90 consecutive life sentences in the most secure federal penitentiary in the country, the Supermax ADS in Florence, California. Why are we going through all of this effort when this has been such a colossal disaster, where every administration has tried to use the victims as political pawns for political advantage? The only reason they keep getting up and saying we need the death penalty because they think it's politically advantageous.
Yeah, so the death penalty is really at the heart of the matter here in terms of the fighting that's going on between the defense team and prosecutors. So again, that scheduling conference that was supposed to happen today, it's going to happen later this month. Then on October 31st, the DA is being asked to return to the courtroom to answer to those allegations of misconduct. So at this point, as to when this trial could actually start, it's probably impossible to know at this point. Next year at the earliest, and that seems optimistic right now, and that's causing a lot of frustration, especially among relatives of the victims. For more on that and reaction to today's courtroom proceedings, we turn to KFOX 14 News at 5's Ariana Parra, who is live in East El Paso. Ariana.
Well, today's hearing bringing immense frustration to one family member of several victims from the 2019 Walmart mass shooting. Now, he is calling the dragged out case a circus and saying he's disappointed with the amount of attention that Patrick Crusius continues to receive.
This is not about him. He brutally slaughtered people that day, okay? This is not okay.
Christopher Morales says he had 3 family members shot by Patrick Crusius back in 2019.
My mother, she was shot twice in the chest. My tia was shot. My grandma was shot. My aunt didn't make it.
Yet the attention, he says, remains on the shooter.
Everybody's making it about, this case and whatever. It's not about him.
When instead, he says it should be about the lives lost.
This is about the victims.
And the families who grieve every day.
Our families will never be the same because of what he did. We need justice so that we can move on.
Reminding the community of the ordinary day that turned deadly.
It could have been any one of your families. Everybody goes to Walmart. It could have been your mother, your sister, your daughter, your grandma.
Morales, angry.
Everybody needs to be pissed off. They're making a total circus about the case, and they should not be doing that.
And frustrated with the delay of justice.
100%. Dropping the ball. Failed by the system is exactly how I feel.
So much so, he chose to speak out.
Bury him under the jail.
Despite the current gag order in place.
For 5 years, nothing has happened. I have been told, be quiet, stay quiet.
Now, there were about a dozen other family members of victims that showed up to the conference today. However, no one else chose to speak with the media. For now, I'm reporting live in East El Paso, Ariana Parra, KFOX 14 News at 5.